Hi, Hiram here. About maybe 2 months ago, I did an unboxing where I showed this G-Micro PSL. It's a personal stove and light. This is a little wax burning stove that somebody sent to me. A buddy of mine on YouTube couldn't get this working, so he asked me if I'd play with it. Like I said, that was 2 months ago. Then between work calling me out of town and Christmas and everything, I never did get back to this, and I've had to apologize to a bunch of people asking me to show this. So I thought I'd better do this first and then go on to other videos. Please bear in mind that I haven't done this in quite a while, so I'm a little rusty with this. But this is the G-Micro PSL. I'll leave a link down below where you can see more information on it. I think this is a pretty cool thing. You know what I mean. It burns wax, so it's a real safe thing, real safe stove to work with. You don't have to worry about the fuel emptying out into your pack and messing up stuff, because it's just wax. Now it comes with cubes like this, or strips rather, that fit into it, but you can also use your own. I'll show you how you can use golf wax. You can pick this up at almost any grocery store and make strips out of this. But this is the stove. I'll give you the dimensions and everything down below. I think it's pretty neat. But the major parts of it are, let me get this apart, a pot stand that the stove goes into, all made out of stainless steel. It's somewhat adjustable. You can spread these out or pull them in somewhat to adjust to whatever pot you want to use. This is the stove part. There's a reserve tank on the bottom that's supposed to hold about 30 minutes of wax that'll melt. This is the thermal element. This is what melts the wax and brings it up for you to burn. I hope you can see this. I can't. This is what the thermal element looks like. I sent the other one back and got a new one from Ray over there at G-Micro. He was nice enough to do this stuff for me. But this is what the thermal element looks like that goes down in here. I can't get this out now because the wax is solidified in this thing. But once it melted, the wax inside melted, then you could pull it out. And there's also, this is the hole where you put your wax in to use. This is the top that does all the magic. It's basically a gasifier that uses the vapors from the wax to run a gasifier type of a thing. Goes on top of the reserve tank like that. Now the thing is, don't grab it by this. This is very thin metal, so you have to always grab it down below with this. Has like a little flange here that you put it into the pot stand and just twist it into place, and it goes underneath some brads, just like so. Always making sure that the opening where you put the wax in is out to where you can get at it. Because as this burns, you end up having to put more wax in. There's also another part. It's a cooling fin. You would use this more like in the middle of the summer or some really hot place. You want to melt the wax, but you don't want it to vaporize down in the tank. So this thing helps cool it off. But right now, my room temperature here is only 50 degrees, so I don't think I'll need this. Removing this should help this stove work a little bit better in the cool. Excuse me. There is a learning curve with this stove. It's not like alcohol or something, you know, where you can just fill it with alcohol or whatever fuel that you're using and then light it and off it goes. You actually have to play with this somewhat. You have to learn. I would put this up there with like using a bow drill, fire starter, or using flint and steel with char cloth. You have to practice it to get it going. Same way here, you have to practice somewhat. But the trade-off is this stuff is fairly safe. I mean, you could have this in an enclosure. It'd be burning. If you tipped it over, I think basically about the worst that would happen is you would get hot wax everywhere. It wouldn't, you know, flash on you. So it's pretty nice that way. So now comes the part, I'm going to light it in this video, and it's going to be taking too long, and then I'll do a boil test in the next one. So you have your wax in here, it's solid. There should be some wax left over on this thermal element. Like I said, this is what soaks the wax up. So what you end up doing is you have to heat this up. Oops, got to try to do this without blowing it out from my talking. You got to heat it up, get the wax to melt somewhat. Once it looks like it's melting the wax on the element, then you can pull your lighting, whatever you're using to light it, down a little bit and try to get it to flame. Now I'm noticing my talking here is kind of messing it up a little bit. I got to talk to the side. I think instead of using a lighter, you'd probably use a candle or something to light this. Now you can put a couple of drops of alcohol on here, it says in the instructions, to get it going. Okay, I think, can you see that? The flames are going. So what you got to do is just kind of turn it around this to get the flames to work on the whole element. See that? Okay, so there we've got a flame going. Now, this is still working off whatever wax was in there from the previous time. So what you sometimes have to do is take one of the strips or something and melt a little bit of wax on here to give it some fuel to work with. It's got to heat up this tank to melt the wax so that it can suck up through this. I don't know if you could see this. On this thermal element, it's got wicking on the outside that's all full of wax, but the inside is a copper tube that when this heats up from the flame on this, the heat goes down through the tube and then helps melt the wax in the reserve tank. Okay, I'm going to break here and get this going to a good flame so that then I can put on the gasifier part. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I think it's going pretty well now. So now what you have to do is slide this vaporizer, or whatever you want to call it, on the top. Again, lining up this hole, can you see that? The feed hole with that feed hole. So what you end up having to do is put this down over. Don't just shove it down in there, but hold it up a little bit so that the flames are heating up this rig on the top. Darn, my talking here is just spraying it all over the place. I think this is going to be very susceptible to wind, so you'll need a windscreen around this. I'll have to try to talk to the side. So I hope you can see this in the camera. Hold this up so that the flames are coming up through. When your fingers start getting to feel hot, it's maybe heated up enough. Okay, now I just kind of put it out. There's still flames in there. Ooh, that's warm. Slide this down over. Can you see the vapors coming up? That's the vaporized wax that we want to get with. So let me get this down over. Again, you have to be careful with this. Oh, I think it is down. So now you see the vapors there, hopefully in the dark. They will light. See that? Is that cool or what? Let's see, how hot is this? See that nice flame? I have to see how much sooting we get from this. Again, this was with using the wax that it came with. Hopefully you can see that if it focuses in. I forget how much these things cost. I think $6 or something. No, look at the site. I'll give you the link down below. But you can also make this stuff any kind of clean wax. It says beeswax, the whole bit. I like to use Gulf wax for stuff. Like I said, you can get this at just about any grocery store in the canning area. Take yourself a potato peeler and just cut yourself, not cut yourself, but cut a little band of it there. Hopefully it'll focus. Little strips. And you can feed it right in through the slot there. Just like so. There we go. Oops, missed it. So you can even use wax like this, beeswax, the whole bit. So what I'm going to do now is go get some water prepped, and I'll come back for a boil test. But I better end this, it's getting kind of long. So if I don't see you at the next video, thank you for watching. I look forward to your input, questions, remarks, helpful suggestions. And as always, watch for my buddy Max. Bye now.